I have received some crazy information about the future of the Star Wars franchise, and George Lucas may be at the center of it all. Let's talk about it.
Have you seen Star Wars?
So for years now, fans have been asking for George Lucas to return to Star Wars, and he sold the company to Disney back in 2012, and it made sense for us to expect the man to stay away from the franchise forever. But in recent years, there have been so many false claims about George's return to the franchise, people saying that he made a version of Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. Now people think that he's writing a new episode or two for the Cassian Andor series, and then others say that he's involved in some Lucasfilm Civil War. But the most we've seen of George Lucas, at least when it comes to official stuff that's, based in the real world, is him on set of The Mandalorian, him at a few conventions here and there, or maybe even a Star Wars premiere here and there. Well, this past week, I received a lot of information from my source who has knowledge with the thinking of the executives over there at Disney, and I'm happy and honestly completely baffled and surprised to say that George Lucas has been in talks to return to Lucasfilm for over a year or so now. And this would not be a long-term arrangement either. According to my source, this would be a very small-scale deal that would see George return for about 2 to 3 years. Of course, the details on the deal could change at any moment. George could come back for more than 3 years, but from what I've been told, the talks revolve around him returning for just a short period of time. Now, this is completely shocking to someone like me because I've always known that George was pretty much done with Star Wars. He said it was like a bad breakup. He's been living a busy life. He was building a museum. He was raising a brand new daughter. But the museum has been pretty much built at this point. It has about a year or two before it opens up. It's almost completed. It'll probably open up this year or next year. His youngest daughter is 7 years old, so he will seemingly have a lot more free time on his hand now that she's older. So maybe that means George Lucas has some time on his hands and he's willing to give us Star Wars fans 2 to 3 years of his time. Now, a lot of you may be speculating on what this means for Kathleen Kennedy. And before this narrative goes out there and is made up, I want to make this very clear. Kathleen Kennedy is not being fired. That is not the case at all. If you guys remember, a few months ago, LRM Online debunked the Lucasfilm Civil War claims, and they even said that their source said that Kathy can stay on as Lucasfilm president if she so chooses. And from what I've been told, that is exactly the same situation that we have here. If Kathleen wants to stay on as Lucasfilm president, she can. She can sign on for another 3 to 5 year deal. But I've also been told that Kathleen is looking to move on from Lucasfilm. She's looking to move on to a different company, a different studio. And there are 3 names on her list at the moment right now, but it looks like Kathy is stepping away from Lucasfilm president when her contract ends this December or this September. I'm not sure which one it is. Now, I cannot confirm if George Lucas has signed that dotted line and the deal is done, but he has been in active talks to return to Lucasfilm for some time now. Lucas was actually never president of Lucasfilm, so this would be the first time he took the title of Lucasfilm president, if he does take that title. But if the deal does come through, then the plans right now are for Kathleen to give a press announcement this summer to reveal that she will be departing Lucasfilm and reveal which company she's moving on to, but also that George Lucas would be returning to Star Wars. That's going to be the big header of that event. Now, I've been really struggling with this information because oh my god, believe me, this sounds like something that comes out of one of those fake news Star Wars channels where they claim they have insider information that never really comes true, none of it's ever really provable either, and then they cover their tracks. They're going to say something like, oh, it's just a rumor, and take it with a grain of salt. That's not how we do things here at Star Wars Only. Last year in February, I was the first to report that Lucasfilm was bringing back Darth Maul into live action. Then 5 months later, the website TheDirect.com confirmed my scoop. So I'm 1-1 on my scoop track record, but this is a lot bigger than Darth Maul returning. This is George Lucas coming back to Star Wars. And I'm surprised he'd even want to do this, but he's also someone who takes massive pride in his work, and maybe he now knows how much people in the Star Wars community want him to come back, and maybe he wants to come back and just do one big project. But if this deal is only 2 to 3 years, then honestly, I'm not sure what George would be planning on doing. There are 3 Star Wars films confirmed for release in 2023, 2025, 2027, and the 2023 Star Wars film is already confirmed to be Rogue Squadron. Beyond that, the other 2 dates have seemingly been filled by Taika Waititi's Star Wars movie and the Kevin Feige Star Wars movie. Plus, there's so many Star Wars projects in the works right now that are going to be releasing over the next 5 years. I'm not sure how George can make a movie or Star Wars show or Star Wars series in a 2 to 3 year time frame. It's not impossible, it's just a very short window, and that means if it releases, it would release after he left Lucasfilm again. Also, it's not like he's going to be the Lucasfilm president and then direct his own movie and write his own Star Wars movie. I mean, would he? I mean, he did it before, but with Disney, things are different, you know? But maybe he can put together a new Star Wars movie that he wanted to create. Maybe there's a story he always wanted to tell and a character he always wanted to write. We have no real idea on what George would do if he rejoins Lucasfilm, but apparently he's been in talks to return for almost 2 years now. So yes, George Lucas is possibly returning to Lucasfilm, and if that does happen, you can expect a big announcement either sometime this summer or later in the year. He could also simply just not take the deal and enjoy his retired life and sail off into the sunset. And the reason it's a possible 2 to 3 year deal, I know that number may seem a little weird to a lot of you, is because Disney's actually looking to use George as a kind of transition period. As Lucasfilm president, they would bring on George for a few years, keep the fans really happy, make a big announcement out of it, and then during that 2 to 3 year time frame, do what they've been doing and look for a new Lucasfilm president. My source did say that Lucasfilm has a list of 4 people that they want to possibly be the next Lucasfilm president for the foreseeable future, and the names on that list, as well as all the companies that Kathleen Kennedy is looking to move into after she departs Lucasfilm, will all be revealed on March 20th on the YouTube show and podcast that I do called Chatooine. So Season 2 will be coming out on March 20th. If you guys want to learn more about the potential Lucasfilm president candidates and where Kathleen Kennedy may be going to after Lucasfilm, be sure to tune in on March 20th. But tell me your thoughts in the comment section below. What do you think about George Lucas being in talks to return to Lucasfilm? And do you think he should take the 2 to 3 year deal? Big shout out to my friend Star Wars Editor for making the thumbnail to this video. Check out his work, link is in the description below. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give it a like or comment because it does help out the channel. If you enjoy Star Wars Only, become an Only fan and subscribe to the channel to stay up to date on the latest news in Star Wars. I'm Star Wars Only. I will see you all next time, and may the Force be with you always.